Hi friends, welcome back to Texas Family Life. My name is Kristy. I'm a mama of 7 with baby number 8 on the way. And today I'm going to share with y'all just some third trimester updates, how I'm feeling and things like that. I am officially 30 weeks, so we are so close to the end. It's so exciting. If you haven't seen my video already, I will link it below, but we did our gender reveal, which was a lot of fun, and it went a lot better with y'all than I had hoped it would. So thank y'all for enjoying and commenting. We are so excited to be welcoming a baby girl in December, God willing. I don't usually have babies that come early, so I'm thinking it will most likely be a December baby. So I found the midwife that I really enjoy, and I really like them in person, but when I'm not there, there seem to be a lot of issues, and I'm very grateful. Don't get me wrong. I'm so thankful that they took me on so late in my pregnancy and that they're willing to work with me. But it is very, very challenging going from home births to a hospital birth because this is my 8th baby, so I'm definitely not a novice. But there's just a lot of things, like a lot of almost worry, it seems like pregnancy is a disability instead of like a normal thing that women go through. Like this is what our bodies were intended to do, and it's okay. So there does seem to be a little bit of like scaring in there, which I'm not a fan of. So I'm just gonna tell y'all roughly kind of how it's going. But I guess the placenta looked like it was pretty close to the cervix. So if the placenta gets too close to the cervix, it can cover it, and that means you can't have a vaginal birth. So we went to our growth ultrasound, which was just to see like how big the baby was, because they had nothing on file. So I'd already been before to the midwife center, and they had done the ultrasound for me, and baby looked good. So this was just for the doctor's records, and the placenta was a little close for comfort to the cervix. And so she's like, well, it should be fine, you have lots of time. A week later, I went to the anatomy scan. So that's the scan where they look at the baby in more detail, and they look at the heart and the stomach and the brain and the cervix and everything like that. So I went there, and she did the whole scan, and then a doctor came in, and she looked at my ultrasound, and she said, I'm very happy with this ultrasound. The placenta did implant lower in your uterus, which can be worrisome sometimes, but we're happy with it. It's not in the scar, because I've had a C-section with my first baby. So that it did not implant in the scar, and it's more than 2 inches away from the cervix. So the safe spot is 2 inches for the placenta to implant, because then it will not cover it. So she was like, this looks good, I'm very happy with it, everything like that. So I was happy with that, she was happy with it, we were all happy. She said baby was like 2 pounds, and that was perfect at the time. So then I leave, and I get a message from my midwives, and they're saying, you may need to schedule now with an MFM, which is a maternal fetal medicine doctor, because it looks like your placenta is too close to the cervix, and we may not be able to deliver you, because these are midwives at a doctor's hospital. So they're in the hospital, they have like these qualifications, but they're not an OB-GYN. So they're like, you may have to deliver with them. And so I look in my charts, because there's like charts online you can go through. And I already had the records from my anatomy scan, and it said like everything looked good. And so I was like, I'm not quite sure what the issue is here, because I was told that the placenta was fine. I will not be seeing an MFM. I will not be going to extra, appointments just to appease anybody, because I know, and I've been told that it looks good. So I'm happy with this, let's let it go. And so they were like, sorry for the confusion, we had not gotten the records yet. That was a little bit frustrating, because you do have to speak up for yourself. If I was a new mom, I would have said, okay, I'm going to the MFM, and I would have spent more money. So that ended up looking good, and they were like, okay, fine. And so I go to my next appointment, and I told them like there was some confusion, is this all cleared up? And they're like, yes, it's cleared up, but the placenta looks kind of floppy, so I mean it's still kind of risky. And I'm like, the doctor said it was okay, so I'm pretty sure it's okay. The next thing was, they were like, looks like your baby's in the 85th percentile. That's a little big. If it gets much bigger, then we're gonna have to transfer you to an OB. And I understand that they're being more cautious, but I don't have a history of big babies. I do know that ultrasounds can be off like a pound or 2 in either direction. They can be off more than a pound. People so many times have been told. Even one of my sweet people that follow me here on YouTube commented saying like they were one of the ones that they were told like they were having a big baby, and baby was normal size. So it happens a lot, but they were like, it looks like the baby might be big, so we might have to transfer you. And I'm like, my goodness. Sometimes, you know, it feels like everything that can go wrong goes wrong, like where they're like, I don't know, we don't want you. So it's been hard, like fighting for those things. I did take my glucose test, which ended up going really well. Just so y'all know, a lot of doctors, they have the options of, you can buy your own glucose stuff online and take that. You can actually take your blood and do like the screening for a couple weeks and hand that into them. There's a jelly bean option, which is kind of cool. We avoid dyes, but I would have totally done that a couple years ago. And then they have like the gross sugar drink that kind of tastes a little bit like 7-Up, like a flat soda, and it's just fine. So that ended up being good. It was on like the higher level of the range, but it still came back normal. So no gestational diabetes for me, which I've never struggled with, but I'm just happy that it wasn't like one more thing that I had to fight. Another thing is baby is either transverse or breech right now. It was transverse. It feels like it's probably breech right now. You can feel the head. So if you are pregnant and you're big enough long, you can like feel like the bump, and there's a bump, and you can tell if it's little bottom or it's head, because if you wiggle it and it wiggles like freely, that's the head because it's moving its head. But if you wiggle it and just do it like gently and it's the bottom, like the whole baby moves because it won't wiggle on its own. It's harder to move. So they are saying that the baby's breech, but they do say that they will try everything in their power to move the baby, which is golden. I know some OB-GYNs will not even attempt anything, and there are so many things you can do at the end of pregnancy to get baby moved. There's still lots of room. I have at least, I would hope, 9 weeks left to get this baby to move, and a lot of times they do. They know to move back into position. I'm a little bummed about, like, there's zero option of delivering a breech baby, they said, which I've done. And you know, OB-GYNs and midwives, I guess nowadays, aren't as trained in breech deliveries, but there are so many techniques. It's kind of like delivering a normal baby. You know, there are techniques that need to be done. Like, you got to check for a cord around the neck. You got to check, you know, the baby's sunny side up or not, and like be prepared for that, and like the positions mom needs to be in. And so same with like a breech birth. You've got to be ready for, like, okay, you press these spots here when the baby's coming out and it tucks its neck in. Like, there are these reflex spots, and the baby has these things. So like if the baby's coming out and it's looking up, it's gonna be harder to get out. But if it tucks its chin in, it comes right out. So there's things like that, like that the midwives and doctors may not know and may not be skilled about. Where I had my last midwife, and that was like one of her specialties. She trained in delivering breech babies. And so that was just some invaluable information. So we are getting ready for baby. Things we still need. I realized that we don't have any like newborn winter clothes, which is like, oh no, because all of our girls are born. We have a February baby, an April baby, a May baby that are girls, and then Mabel's September. So we had clothes from her, but by the time December comes along, it's like 3 months and up. It's no more longer newborn. So I don't have newborn clothes, and we go to a lot of church events that are outdoors, and I just always remember being like so cold at those. So I'm gonna have to get lots of like warm and snuggly things for the baby to keep him warm, to keep her warm. But yeah, I'm doing really well. I'm doing the healthy eating that I keep sharing with y'all. I'm sorry if I talk to death. The clean eating, and really enjoying that. I'm trying to stay mostly away from sugars and things that are high carb. So I'm looking for more high protein, and I'm not even looking really at calories because that's not as important with this part of the pregnancy. We want the protein for the baby, and yeah, just to be healthy. And so, like I've said, like I don't want any reason. I want to do my best to be healthy so that I can't look back and say, ugh, I really should have done this or I should have done that. Like at this point, the only thing I can say is that I wish I'd started sooner eating better, but it'll be okay. So starting about 32 weeks, I start drinking sun red raspberry tea, leaf tea. And so I'm like looking forward to that. You start it at like a cup a day, and then as the pregnancy goes on, you add more and more and more. And that's supposed to help tone the uterus and make it so when you do start having contractions, they are more effective. I might eat the baby, and so it is gonna be, I'm gonna need probably a little bit of help for my aging uterus. I do have another appointment tomorrow, and for now we're going every 2 weeks to the appointments, and then soon it'll be every week. I love it. I'm excited about it every time. We just are going to see the heartbeat or hear the heartbeat tomorrow, and I guess talk to the midwives. And hopefully it's just a good like easy appointment. I'm ready to have this baby and to just like be done and be home. I know that you're typically supposed to stay at the hospital for 24 hours. I'm gonna ask again because I want to keep an eye on mom and baby, but I know like at birth centers and home births, like you have the baby and that's it. And a lot of times there is need to keep an eye on the baby, but like if I'm good and the baby's good, I would love to just go home. With Edith, we kind of escaped out of the hospital. They were waiting for something. I don't remember what for Edith, but she was as healthy as could be, and so was I. There was no complications, but they were waiting for something. They wanted proof that I had a baby appointment or something before they could let me go for her, from the pediatrician, and it was the weekend, and so they wanted to wait for that, and I was like, I just want to go home, and they were like kind of like not wanting to let me go. Okay, so I had to move inside. It was getting hot, so we had to kind of sneak out. They were like, you can't leave yet, and then we were just like, I don't know what we're gonna do, and someone came in with a wheelchair, and they're like, all right, you ready to go? And we were like, yes, and we got out of there so fast. We were really sad because I left behind my favorite jacket, so I was sad. My sister-in-law had just passed it down to me, and it was like such a pretty color. It was like a purplish pink, and it was so cozy, and so we left that behind. But other than that, we got to go home, and Edith was healthy and happy, and so was I. And it's like, I enjoy being in the hospital because I enjoy being catered to. And I enjoy like not having to make food or anything like that, but also like I miss my kids so much. Like I miss my just being home and just being able to be back to normal. Like I said, pregnancy is not like a sickness or a disease. Like it's something that's normal and it happens every day. And I know there are complications and they want to keep an eye on you, but for the most part, like if there aren't, then just let me go home. I just want to go home. Another problem with like staying at the hospital is having to find someone to watch all 7 of our kids, and the twins are only going to be about a year old. I know a lot of people complain about people that have big families, and they're like, you know, you ask for help from everybody and you ask for money and this and that, and we really don't. We don't have a lot of help, really. We don't have help, and so like to ask somebody to watch our kids feels really, really hard. Because I don't want anyone like watching the kids and like getting irritated with them or impatient with them or mean to them and things like that. And I know that sometimes you have to be very strict with kids, but I just want like the very best and the happiest for them, because this is an exciting and a very challenging time for all the kids at the same time. Like they're welcoming a whole new member to this family, and it's a very big change for everybody. So I want it to go smoothly. I want everyone to be kind and patient and loving. And I know that's so hard to do with this many kids. So I don't know, I need, if y'all wouldn't mind saying some prayers for us to, you know, be able to have this baby and to come back home and get back to normal for all of this. So we're in the home stretch though, and we're ready. Like I said, that's the only thing. That's why I love home births, is because I need someone here when the baby is being born to take care of the kids, just in case they need something, which isn't that long. And then I'm like, all right, see ya. It just always works out so well. So I do miss my home births, and I do miss everything like that. I am still very grateful that these midwives took me on. But so that about wraps up me at 30 weeks with this baby. I'll keep y'all updated if anything changes. I guess before I know it, I'm gonna have to pack a hospital bag, which seems crazy to me, because although I had home births, I never packed a bag like just for an emergency. And when I had to go to the hospital after the twins just to get some fluids, we still didn't like pack a bag. My husband brought an outfit for me and an outfit for the twins, and it was, I mean, we didn't really need that much, so we'll see what I pack. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a very blessed rest of your week. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I can't wait to see y'all again soon. Bye, guys.